Hey guys, welcome back to the studio. Ryan, aka BloodShot Airbrushing, and we are back for part 3 of the final piece of the graffiti project. We're gonna wrap this one up, guys. I'm also gonna slap in some photos that the customer took of the bike all assembled. Yeah, stay tuned for that one. We're gonna get to that around the end of the video. No skipping ahead. I know you cheaters. I know you. I know. Alright guys, I'm not going to spend too much time jibber-jabbering at you. You know where we're at. You've seen video 1, you've seen video 2, you've probably seen the rest of the project. If you haven't, get on over there and do so. And as for me guys, I'm going to get back to spewing some paint through the magical airbrush and spewing some knowledge at the same time. Alright guys, let's get right on to it. This is how I do it. And hopefully you guys can learn a little something as we get on through it. Alright guys, using my one-shot paints, my lettering enamels, thinning them out with mineral spirits. You can use turpentine or you can use mineral spirits. I'm using mineral spirits because I don't like the stank of the turpentine. And I've got it thinned out over half. Again, probably around the 2/3 thinner and 1/3 of paint. And now guys, as you can see, multiple passes, building it up slowly. I know some of my favorite statements, the multiple passes and the building it up slowly, but guys, this is how it's done. This is how I do it. I know there's others that may do it differently, but you're on my channel. So this is how we're gonna do it today, guys. You're coming along with me for the ride. Now, as you can see, what I am doing here is I'm trying to tackle all of my horizontal lines. And once I get those all sorted out, then I will flip the piece over and I will start tackling all the vertical lines, which at that point will be horizontal, which is just a little easier for me to do the straight lines. Guys, I find the swaying side to side is a little more consistent than moving your arms up and down. But again, hey man, you might find it a little different, and that's okay by me. This is just how I do and how it seems to work for yours truly. Alright guys, as you can see, we are now moving it for the vertical lines that are now horizontal. I know it gets a little confusing, but hey, we are gonna soldier on through this. Right, my warriors, my airbrush wielding warriors. I am so proud of all of y'all. The photos you guys have been sending me on Instagram. I am blown away. A lot of you guys putting in the 20-hour challenge. A lot of you guys are pretty professional as is, man. I'm not the only guy here with some skills. A lot of you guys have put in the time and are developing some very nice pieces. With that being said, guys, BloodShot Airbrushing, Instagram, come on over, check me out. Let me check you out. That's a little creepy, but slap down your photos of your artwork, guys. I love to see what other people are doing with these magical tools we call the airbrush. Alright guys, so finishing up the little lines for this arrow, trying to keep it easy. So all my passes, everything that I'm doing here guys, you will see me move this piece around quite a bit, and I'm only tackling the areas that are easily accessible. You'll see at the tail end of this line, I start to kind of go down. I'm like, no, that's not the easiest way, so I just kind of bail. I'll get back to that in a little bit. And another thing to notice, guys, in a lot of cases, especially with my longer lines, I'm actually moving that airbrush and making sure that I have access to that entire line long before, well, seconds before I start applying paint. So you'll notice a lot of these times, guys, I do my passes and just kind of make sure that I've got that muscle memory, and I can, right there, I did 3 passes before I ever applied any paint. There again, guys, you see a pass before I apply paint. And this is just to make sure that I'm not going to be struggling. I'm not going to be halfway through that line and be like, oh, I can't reach, and then have like a big hiccup. There's not a lot of redoing here. You got to kind of have to be a little bit precise. If your line does vary a little bit as you're going over with multiple passes, it gets a little thicker. And that's okay, guys. Just keep it consistent. And not necessarily that you gotta keep the consistent fatness of the lines throughout, but definitely in that little area. If you get a little chubby in that area, make sure the rest of them in that area are similar, and you can start tapering away from there. And it just tricks the eye so that, you know, your nice thin lines don't necessarily have to all be chunky and fat, and your nice fat lines don't necessarily draw the eye to be like, what's going on there, right? You blend it out, taper it down, and just do your best, guys. What we're trying to do here is we're just trying to keep it appealing to the eye, and the reality is your eye is going to be the best judge. Anybody who is in the same sort of field where you are creating something from nothing, you will know every minor little hiccup just screams at you. But most people don't pick up on them. They see it as an entire piece. You see it as all the little dots to get there, and you notice all the little imperfections. So don't beat yourself up too bad, guys. Again, something that you may not see a lot of because I kind of cut it out, but I do step back every 5-10 minutes of spraying and just have an overall look. Step back, have a look at your piece, see where it's going, see where it's been, and make any proper adjustments at that time. But don't push yourself. Perfection, as I have said before, it just doesn't exist, guys. You can push for it, and all you're gonna get is frustrated. Believe me, it took me a few years to learn this, and now I swear by it. It has become one of my mantras, guys. Perfection just does not exist. Good enough, however, is easily achievable, and that's where you have to learn, guys. There is such a thing as a line in the sand that's got to be drawn. There is no such thing as perfection, but you do want to have a solid piece at the end of the day, and that's where you that's where you battle. How many hours do I put into this to make sure that A, I'm not losing my shirt on my budget, B, I'm gonna be giving a client a piece that they will be happy with. And here's the thing, guys. I know I can easily spend 20 more hours on this, but at what point do you say, that's mighty fine, and I know my customer's gonna like it. Well, I know I can pick it apart. I know I see every little defect. But will they? And you kind of have to step into the mindset of somebody seeing it for the first time rather than someone who has been slaving away to get this final result. And now, guys, you see, I'm just going in. Sorry, sidetracked. I got a little sidetracked there. We're going in with some black, and now I'm just doing some shadow lines just to make it look like some of these bottom edges are a little more in the shadow. And what I do to one, I do to all. So keep it consistent, guys. This is again where I was saying consistency. So you kind of see I kept it all to the left side, kept it all in that one little corner, kept it all to the blue, didn't do any on the green. And again, just kind of gives it an overall, when your eye glances over the entire piece, it picks up on the little similarities, guys, and forms a general cohesiveness with the entire piece. Alright, guys, moving forward. So I am going in with purple, and now I'm outlining the entire piece. Just again, kind of a graffiti kickback. Giving it some spheres, bubbles, clouds, I don't know what exactly you'd call it, but these little circular kind of spray patterns around the outside of the purple, just to give some flavor. So it's not just a fade going in one direction or a glow fading outwards. It's a little more appealing to the eye, guys. And some of that overspray, as you can see now, is getting covered up by this purple. But here's the thing. And this whole project was a whole pile of weird and wacky and unusual requests. But another one of the requests that was asked of me was to leave the overspray. So there's a couple pieces where you can actually even see from my stencils where I've got a little bit of a line of overspray on, I think, the Ombana, if you check out that video. Yeah, I could have easily cleaned that up. But no, the customer liked it, loved it, wanted it to stay, so I aim to please, guys. So this is what we done did. Alright, now I'm going in and just giving the final little bit of purple blasts. I've got this paint thinned out quite a bit at this point. I was actually hoping for a little bit more of a run effect where the paint would kind of run down. Never quite got there, but I was pretty happy with what I did get, so I just kind of kept on rolling. Now I'm showing off for you guys here, one-handed. Pa-pow. Pa-pow, pa-pow. Oh yeah. And if you think that's showing off, check this out. I'm a lefty. You all know I'm a lefty. Oh yeah, right-handed action. Ambidextrous. Maybe when I'm just blasting in simple dots like this. But hell, I'm gonna claim it nonetheless. Ambidextrous. Alright guys, rocking and rolling. We are getting pretty close. I am going in now with a light pink, and I'm just giving a highlight to every single one of those little spheres, clouds, dots, whatever you want to call them. And again guys, keeping it consistent. So I'm picking the top left corner of every single one and making sure that my little highlight, well, it is in that top left corner of every single one. Repeat. Alright guys, we are getting pretty damn close. I am just doing a final little signature here. The BSA, guys, Bloodshot Airbrushing, or the Bloodshot Army, however you want to see it. And this is about the one thing that will tie all these little pieces together is the little signatures and stars and dates that are all done very similar. Everything else was done in radically different styles, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this. We're going to lay down our last little bit of white highlights into the tips of the yellows, bringing in the whites to make this to be the brightest part of this project, guys, where these arrows are coming to their final point. And this isn't real time, this is sped up 2 times, but again, kind of shows you the amount of time it takes just to do a little tiny area. Double this, and that's the time it takes, guys. And once I got my whites built up, it's Starburst time. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that will give you your Starburst. You can always hit it from the center and give it a nice little glow. Not necessary, but what I did for this one. And we're gonna quickly blast through the rest of these guys. You can just kind of see how I did it, where I placed them. This one was a little trickier because we had that seam. But tricky does not mean impossible. Just means more thought. Alright guys, and I think there's 3 or 4 more to go. And that is the show. Alright, I'd love to know what you guys think of this entire project. Oh, here before we get too far, you'll notice I tossed away the one card, my little business card I was using for the Starburst, and grabbed a new one. That paint was getting a little saturated on the card, and I did not want that to transfer to the rest of it. So keep that in mind. Tip for the brain box, guys. But yeah, I know we started with the eyeball, went to the chick's face, then we did the puddles, then Ombana, and now we got the K-O-S-H. Yes, that's right, guys. K-O-S-H for all of you who played along with the speed painting video and tried to guess these letters. Those of you who nailed it, congrats. Those of you who didn't, don't feel so bad. Not everyone can read graffiti, and even though this is a simpler style, it still had to have that graffiti feel. There you have it. And what do you guys think of that one? Another colorful job. Out the door, guys, and on to the next. Now, I know a lot of you guys are like, Wasn't it nighttime when you started this whole thing? Well, guys, this isn't the first time and it won't be the last time that, yes, I worked entirely through the night. It's alright. It's alright. I'm built tough. I can handle it. Deadlines are deadlines, guys, and I can't keep people waiting, so we do what we gotta do to survive. Alright, guys? I hope you like that one. Little more of the actual graffiti style. I hope you graffiti heads are going, nicely done. Alright, guys, and with that, this whole graffiti series is a wrap. And on to the next. I've got a couple projects. One that you've probably might be hopefully remembering. Yeah, we're back onto the Warhawk project. We've got a helmet and a gas tank, but more importantly, we've got a pinup girl. Alright, guys, that'll be a fun one. And after that, who knows, guys, we're just gonna keep rolling through the projects. Rolling. But there'll be some cool ones, guys. We'll enjoy it. I will enjoy it. You are undecided, but that's why you're here. Drop me a comment, guys. Drop me some feedback on this one, guys. Let me know what you think. I love to hear it. And with that one all wrapped up, we're gonna send you guys on your way. As always, guys, like, follow, subscribe. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Cheers. And as promised, here are photos of this cool little bike all assembled. I'm pretty happy with the final result. But guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your questions. Hit me up. And be sure to check out my other videos, guys. We've got tips for beginners. We got airbrushing hacks. We've got plenty of tutorials of projects I've done. Check it out. Cheers.